in Portugal when we did. So super happy about that. So about the well, how far should I go? Well,
Well, it must have been now almost 3 years, probably
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we talk about Guana is a startup that I founded with my friends. When was it? I think it was. I'm sorry, this thing sometimes.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Like get back here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So um, it was a platform for funding research,
Yeah.
and it still is if needed to be, meaning that it was meant for fast evaluation, turning like a 12-month process of getting funding and the evaluation process and the committee work done into a 1 month process. And we actually did run a very successful pilot with the government of Dubai, and it was all good.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, it's been kind of reborn um,
Mm-hmm.
during the global hack thing that we just ran, and
Yeah.
the whole hack to crisis movement things. But I'm personally not an active part of Guana anymore. I'm in the board and I'm advising them. I'm helping them along with everything I have. But actually, currently, Edgar Arona, who's my co-founder, is running it, and I think
Mm-hmm.
he's doing like a really really good job doing it. I have a new project that I'm working on that's in stealth right now.
Ah.
Uh, yeah, and it's really ties into a lot of the things that I've been doing lately, like the global hack thing and so forth.
I have
Actually,
to
the
give you
global,
a private call soon. Marco,
yeah,
Marco,
well,
tell me.
sure. I think we're coming out with it like
Oh, you just muted
in a few
yourself.
months. Sorry,
Did you mute
I think
yourself? I can't hear you.
I can. Can you
Ah.
hear me now? I think
Oh,
there was a
wait. No,
connection
that was
problem.
me. No
All
worries.
right, okay. I
It's
on
okay.
and
Just
off
go.
hearing
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just.
Cliffhanger stealth project has Angeliki. By the way, some of the people listening to us right now are really, really fantastic. Like Angeliki is from European Space Agency, and
Ah,
she's
cool.
like a massive support going through all of these hackathon plannings and everything that we've been through. She's thanks. You know, I'm trying to make a heart here, but I'm really bad with my hands right now.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Wait, this way.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome. But Marco, I mean, what is that thing about Estonia? Why is Estonia such a brilliant place? I got to meet Kaspar Corius recently.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, how can you whenever there's something really cool, really interesting, really digital, like truly digital, Estonia is in the middle of it. So what is that thing about the country? Is that
I think
you?
that no, the running joke was that we built Skype so we didn't have to meet people. It's
Yeah.
still the focus thing. Weird. Here we go. Yeah. So we're starting. Okay. So one of the things that is like for real why things like this are going well in Estonia is that it's a small place, 1.3 million people,
Hmm.
and everything we start building we never really build for ourselves because our market is very small, but that
Ah.
also means that but we have a lot of startups and we have really advanced e-governance system, and the government, oh, Elise Lemsalo, she's the number one singer in Estonia.
Hey,
uh,
nice.
yeah.
I should get
um,
her in the show
and also
too. Yeah.
my Pilates buddy, so I'm really happy she showed.
Awesome.
So, but with Estonia, startup founders don't compete because we never
Mm.
build stuff for our own market per se. It's a
Mm-hmm.
side effect that things are used here because we start building things for globally from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
And meaning that we collaborate all the time. Like if we have resources to share, it's an ecosystem that gives. It doesn't compete. Our
Mm-hmm.
competition is rest of the world.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I remember also with all of this e-residency issue, and how to keep the younger people in the country, how to kind of get rid of this whole idea of brain drain,
mhm.
and you have lots of young people in the country who, of course, want to self-actualize, including yourself and other people. Um, But I
One
have a
of the cool
question.
things I have to say is that the Estonia female founders are really fucking great. Excuse my French. Like I
It's
really,
okay.
really
It's
adore.
okay.
Yeah,
It's only
yeah,
it's only the 16,000 of us.
fine.
Well, um, so when you tell your family what you do they understand?
My grandmother loves what I'm doing.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. She's great. Like, oh wow, I have so much love for her, and I really miss her. I can't see her right
oh,
now. But yeah, she's always been like the biggest cheerleader. Like this here, actually, is a family portrait. I'm trying to
oh
show it.
wow.
Yeah, that's her, and that's me because like she's
Oh,
always called me the lone wolf, and
lovely.
yeah, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's I don't think she like fully understands all the details, and I don't think she has to.
Yeah.
But she's always told me like, do not waste my time doing stupid shit. And I think I've tried to keep that up.
I'm hoping that chatting on multiple platforms at the same time while drinking wine is not one of those.
So she would be proud right now. Let's
Cheers,
just say.
Granny. Cheers, I have a joke for you later, Granny. Yeah,
All right.
awesome. um, and so let's talk about the this amazing thing about the hackathon. So
Yeah, sure.
what happened before? How did you decide to act? And how the heck did you get so many people on board in such a short time?
Wow.
Plus, probably you don't want to hear that you went really viral, but it's like,
Bad choice of words.
I
But
know.
yeah. But all right,
Yeah.
let me recap from the beginning when it comes to the global hack. First of all, it was really a group effort. Like it
Mm.
really was. I just happened to be at the right places, answering the right people, and for some reason I ended up as the face of it. But there was so much work being done by 40 people, putting all of their time and resources into it, that I just really want to thank them and I adore them for their efforts. Like this, it's been a crazy journey, honestly. So what happened was that around a month ago now, uh, Mick Weinig from Accelerate Estonia, it's an Estonian like super advanced innovation hub, like the governmental one. He called me saying like, "Hey, we want to run a hackathon, the virtual one, UN," and I was like, my first question was that, are you drunk? I think. And second was like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. Um, and so, and none of us knew what we're doing. So basically, it
Mm.
was Accelerate Estonia, Garrett's 48, and Guaana, and uh, and it was like very much an ad hoc team working together
Mm.
on this stuff, meaning that you know all the roles and everything kind of solved themselves in a way. Anyway, 6 hours later, 6 hours after the call, we had the first hack up and running. We
Wow,
had 1,300 people showing up, and they hacked for the 48 hours under the guidance of mentors and everything.
that
And
is
they ended up,
amazing.
yeah, and they ended up building some really useful stuff. Like for
Mm.
example, there's a chatbot right now that's being more and more utilized that I really enjoy. It
Mm.
seems like it's a simple solution to a like a no-brainer kind of a thing, but it's really advanced. Like it understands slang. It's applied on every governmental website. It's some media websites, and the thing about it is
Is it to
uh,
type or to call?
to type. And
Okay.
the point of it is that it actually makes it easy for younger people to get their data, so that
Mm.
older people can actually call the hotlines and they're available.
Ah,
It's
that's
such a
great.
simple solution to a very big problem, right? When you're hogging all the lines, people get panicky.
Yeah,
You know, so the first reaction could be like, oh well, someone made a chatbot. I'm like, fuck yeah, someone made a chatbot, and it makes sense. It distributes the needs, and it funnels the people and their needs. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
By the
And
way,
the other, yeah,
can you come more to the yeah, perfect.
you want me to hear?
Because
You want
it's
me to
not
hear?
only Instagram, it's also the other platforms. You're like fading
All right,
off.
I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be just here
Yeah, perfect.
drinking my mezcal.
Sorry. Yeah, enjoy, enjoy. Oh, by the way, I am drinking red wine, white wine, but I'm going to be doing some fruit yogurt, which is, a healthy lifestyle promoting type of thing.
I added ice to my mezcal, if that counts.
It does.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
just hacking. You're just hacking Entrepreneur's Kitchen, which with you it's totally okay because
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
So basically, what happened later on, like another thing that came out that I really love is ShareForce One. It's a company or platform that allows organizations to kind of share their workforce with each other, so that
That
people don't
is
get
cool. Ah.
people don't get laid off. I
Mhm.
really love that. So, for example, you have hotels that people they're closed, right? They don't want
Yeah.
to let these people go. Like they just
Mhm.
collaborate with someone who needs like extra work, like delivery companies, for example.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one thing, and there's more. There's like a voluntary platform, medically trained voluntary platform that's connected to hospitals, meaning that if there's a need, hospitals can send out the ping and these people come running because they're medically trained, they're ready for this, right?
That's cool.
So things
Ah.
like that. There's out of the 30 something things that came out of that first hack, 8 are now being used.
That is real, and they're being used only in Estonia or globally.
These are in Estonia, like these are
Okay.
regional. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened afterwards, just as the story goes now, is that we were, the Latvians reached out during the hack already, saying like, we want to do this again, like we want to do it too. So what the Garage 48 people did, and Guy Isand, who's a fantastic person, like we've been clashing like crazy during the hacks, but she's great, so,
Well,
and that's what if you build stuff breaks. The important
absolutely.
part
Yeah.
is how you come out of it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Guy started putting together like a playbook. Oh, how do we do this? Because no one knew, like no one's done this before like this.
Mm.
And we just kind of wrote down everything we knew. I helped with what I know. Other people jumped in, helped with what they knew, and their own experience.
Mm.
And then the crazy thing happened. Like 3 weeks later, we already had launched 50 something hacks around the world with more than 100,000 people being part of them.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that is
and then
really cool.
that
Yeah.
was. I'm starting to think now. That's literally like 2 weeks
But
ago.
tell me, what did you do differently? Because when I browse my social media and things like that, what did you do differently so that your global hackathon was so much more successful in comparison to, we had, like, I don't know, everybody was hacking the crisis in some way,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
trying to do, these Zoom calls all over the world and trying to bring people in and yeah, so hoping to build something, and you
The honest
actually
answer is I don't know, because I
okay.
haven't really paid any attention what other people are doing. Because
Yeah.
I think one of the maybe this we got governments involved really fast. Like one of the
Mm.
key things is that we're building stuff for solving the crisis, and a lot of the things are connected to how government responds to things.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the most logical thing, I was just talking with Alan Blue, one of the LinkedIn founders, the other day, and he said that's a crucial thing, that we got the governments involved super early.
Okay. Yeah.
And another thing, when we
But
escalated
how
to
did you do that? I mean, tell me, how did you do that? Call it.
hi,
You're like, hey, this is Marco. Are you my government? I want to talk to you about this genius idea. I mean, yeah. So
no,
this is this is
in
the
our case
advantage
it
of,
was.
having a small country that the okay. Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things, but at the same time, it's also the way we're used to working here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are pretty much used to government being available as a partner, as someone we can talk to, as a company, for example,
Yeah.
and as a startup. So for us, working with them was a very logical thing.
That is so cool, but how is that even possible? I mean, usually governments are like, we're doing our own shit, and I mean, even in
Hmm.
small countries, it
Hmm.
can be extremely separated. So, what do you think? What is the mindset in the governments that they involve actually young people with like really crazy ideas? Yeah.
Um, I think they're kind of used to us. Like, no, it's let me think. Well, first of all, I was called by my government to do this, right? The first
Oh,
thing, Nick Weinig
yeah,
from Accelerate, he's a civil servant,
yeah,
and he called me,
okay,
and and we had been just joking about, like, he's a dad, like, he's, I think, twice now, and he was just, I was saying on Facebook that, hey, I'm ready to learn some new skills in this quarantine stuff, right? And he was like, yes, so here's the thing, I'm ready to learn what quiet time means, so I'm gonna give you my kids. And so it's a fair exchange. And I was like, I'm not not convinced. And so,
awesome.
I was pretty hesitant to pick that phone up when he called me the next morning after doing that joke, right?
Yeah.
So, but and he started the call with, so when do I, when do I throw into your way? I'm just like, maybe not now.
No.
Anyway, I think our communication with the government, like the civil servants especially, not even government, but the civil servants, is very open. They're
Yeah.
always available, and they're people who are well respected by the startup sector, and we know, they deliver.
Mm.
uh, they know how we think, and they walk the same kind of beat, and that goes both ways. We're also there when they need us.
Mm.
So for us, what, for example, I did, it actually got to some really crazy lengths about it. Like, it's when, for example, Italy was hosting their hackathon, I asked our government to connect that hack team with their government, and they did.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the communication is really dynamic both ways, and
awesome.
and Mick was happy to find
Mm-hmm.
out who or who, and connect them to. Same thing with UK.
Mm-hmm.
So our government is like, when I say our government, I'm literally talking about like three people I've been working with. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different people, but in this case, there's been three people who've been super super relevant to this, and who have always
Mm.
been there, who's available, and building all the connections that we need. Um, and part of the team too, like they Accelerate Estonia was one of the key organizations to kick this thing off at first.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came to the global hack, we just thought it's reasonable to escalate the
Mm.
movement. We had all these regional hacks popping up everywhere, and we'd always been supporting them
Yeah.
with our playbook. And what I really loved is that the organizations who had already done the hacks already also showed up to our Slack, so they also gave their knowledge on to the new ones who came in, and it's still going on.
Yeah.
Um, so there's, like, I think, let me think, over 800 people in that Slack now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, and
Nice.
they're
Well
all
done.
organizers
Yeah. Really
um,
cool.
from around
Yeah.
the world. So what we did was we just figured, let's do one that is focusing on global issues and global solutions, right?
Mm.
And I think I think we did it all right.
I think you did an amazing job, guys. I
Thanks.
also want to thank you and your entire team, and also mention once again at this point that if you guys have any questions, you might either reach us on with the hashtag the Mindshift TV on Twitter, or just shoot your questions in on Instagram live chat. Yeah, we're not supporting YouTube live chat now because it's only the two of us. So
That's fine. Come on.
yeah.
It's
Well,
already, like, you're running like a multi-platform operation here. I'm like
yeah,
really impressed.
this is
Yeah.
Entrepreneur's Kitchen, and people drink and talk. So it sometimes goes into directions where it's about a little bit more about private natured things. So
I
what
promise
does
not
your
to get Lincoln. Sorry.
although
Everyone who wants to
although
get, I'm out.
although that
Sorry.
might be actually a very good idea. Look at it might just boost up our numbers even more.
I
But
doubt it.
maybe you can give me some names for later. For
Yeah,
later.
sure. I
Awesome.
actually do know a few really cool strippers in Vegas.
Hey!
I'm not kidding, really, I do.
Wow, you're giving me really, really interesting. I mean, we had a magician, right?
There
He
you
was
go.
doing magic. So
That's
this is
cool. I
another
have to
kind of,
check that out. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
I
Well,
like they're really cool people too. Like, I mean, seriously, one of them was studying criminal law, single mother. You
wow.
know, yeah. So it's
Wow,
that's
awesome.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, that really sounds interesting. So,
Hmm.
but I want to ask you. I mean, do you live alone? That's my first question.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So this whole social distancing thing, that must be even worse for people who are already alone, or are you busier than ever? And this is like the most horrible thing. That's
Ah. No, it's honestly it's not being hard because of social distancing, because I consider it actually, what we're doing is physical distancing,
yeah.
not social. um, I don't think I've been talking to people as much ever in my life than now in the last like a month, and
Yeah.
it's been very busy. I think I did do the math, and I checked my sleep data. My average time sleeping was 3.5 and 4 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh.
for a month.
Yeah,
So,
well, oh, actually, I was watching your Tat podcast, and she says in
cool,
the
thanks.
beginning, it's 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. Helen pinged me like like, hey, could we talk? And I didn't know what's it about because I didn't even know she's involved with TED. Obviously she is. She is. She's one of the top curators in TED. But I knew her from a completely different setting, right?
Yeah,
And she was like, "Can we talk?" I was like, "Yes, Helen, I'd love to, but I can do that at 3 a.m."
that's
And
hilarious.
and I remember
Yeah.
there was a little, like, she started typing, it stopped. Started typing in, it stopped. Like, I saw the
Or,
visible confusion through the algorithms.
like, did he mean PM? Oh, yes, exactly. No,
AM,
well,
yeah.
I'm happy that we're actually talking at a time that's more humane for both of us.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Michael, what's going to happen after this? I mean, now you've been involved with the global hack. Now there are a couple of projects that have been kicked off.
A lot,
Are you
yeah.
are you going to separate your ways to go on your back on your stealth
No,
project, or okay?
no, we're gonna
No.
continue. Yeah. It's like we all have our companies running, and actually we've decided this today,
Okay.
like 5 hours ago or something, that this is what we're gonna do next. We're just gonna There's gonna be official statements and all that shit, but
Mhm.
in a nutshell, we're going forward. And this is, we didn't solve the crisis, and
Mhm.
even when the crisis is over with, there's a lot in the world that needs attention,
Tell me.
from poverty to hunger to
Mhm.
water crisis and so forth.
That's actually really, really, really wise and sincere of you, because I know you as a person. But what would be the state of the world when you were to say, now we've solved the crisis? Let's focus on this one. What is, in your opinion, the solution in terms of how is the state of the world after that?
I think we are very close to solving things when individual people feel empowered enough that they feel that they can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like when someone who's listening right now, I don't know how many people there are, someone knows that I know exactly what to do and how to do it. I have all the necessary tools for it. So we want that to be available for everyone, that
Yeah.
way of thinking. And if we have, like, it's not a question of solving everything. It's about building a ground or a foundation for everyone to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Otherwise, it's not just gonna happen.
So that
So
everybody can self-actualize if they
yes,
wanted to. Yeah.
giving people tools and ways to have access to resource, ways to get empowered to solve things no matter where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important key, like the key thing for this crisis, and also solving a lot of other issues we have in the world today, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, one of my passions is also in a very similar direction. I say, democratize creativity, give
Yes.
tools for self
You're
actualization.
with Harvard, right? I remember you
I
being with Harvard.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
and MIT actually.
Yeah, cool. Actually, I was giving a panel talk in MIT. One of my friends invited me over
Awesome.
there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, good places definitely.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Well, and when you think about democratizing the access to
Mhm.
certain privileges or certain things that look like privileges that shouldn't be,
True.
like all those tools you're talking about, and even the mindsets of you can do this. Because
Mhm.
yesterday, for instance, I was talking to the magician, and he says, you know, everybody is so many people are trying to make other people small, to keep everything contained and reserved, also
I
Estonia.
would say, honestly, I would say fuck those people.
Yeah, absolutely, fuck the gatekeepers, but
Yeah.
they are there. So what do we do about this? If you go out to the world and you say, access to these things should be basic, like human right for everyone. Like I say, and our sonophilia group says, creativity is a basic human need.
It
Um,
is.
so, but then there are other people who actually earn their living from gatekeeping, from scarcity, from creating artificial scarcity and
Mhm. Mhm.
controlling resources. So,
Mhm.
what do you do when you encounter this?
I think there's a good example I can actually give you about this. One of my um, really lovely friends is someone you might actually know her. You do know Erika Badu,
Hmm,
the singer.
if I don't
Erika
know
Badu.
whether we met in person. I don't remember.
Ah,
Yeah.
right. Well, she's a fantastic, like she's a legend when it comes to she's an artist with a
Mm-hmm.
capital A, and and the way she reacted to this crisis is something that just keeps me going. And how she did was like she realized that it's not just her as an artist not being able to perform, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, Instead she realized the truth of it, saying like there's a whole industry around her. There's people in the studio, the catering people, the production people, the people who are setting everything up, the managers, the stage techs, everyone is
Mm-hmm.
now out of a job.
Yeah.
So she did what I think all leaders do. She took some time. She put all of her money and all of her efforts into kicking off her own kind of like a streaming platform that is independent from everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And and she started doing the lives. She's done two now. Like, and these are not just live concerts. These are crazy, awesome performances. You would absolutely adore what's happening. There's magicians.
Oh, you
It's
have to send
amazing.
send me the
Yeah.
link, then we
You
will
can check
share
it
it.
out. It's
Yeah, we
yeah.
will
I
share
think
it.
it. I think the next one is in. It's this Sunday. Yeah,
Hey, sounds good.
yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah. So and what she does, um, she asked $1 for the stream from everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that $1 gets shared with everyone, with the community. And next
Awesome.
time, the second one, she asked $2. I'm pretty sure she's asking three now, and it still
Well,
gets shared
good. Yeah, good thought of
because
her.
she
Uh,
realized that $1 is not nearly enough to keep these people and their families alive.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
and all of that gets shared. So
Mm-hmm.
she's a sweetheart. Like I look up to her a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think times like these, you need people like this to show
Mm-hmm.
the way. You need
Absolutely.
them. You need them to be able to, you know, um, inspire. And
Mm-hmm.
and um, and what I really adore about her is like she's very open about it. And she did like during the global hack, she did an interview with me, and we both cried during it. And she said
Aw.
like we're two broadcast philanthropists, and I was like, yes, we are.
Well, I mean, but you have to have this kind of idealism,
Yeah.
because otherwise the world is such a it turns into such a shitty place. There are
Yeah.
actually a couple of questions here.
All
So
right.
it's about what are the three top things that will have changed after the crisis, in your opinion, in the world?
We like people more. I think
You
that's
think
one
so?
thing. Yeah,
Do
I
you think
think I
really?
think yeah, one thing that I think has changed. Like I'm serious about this, very serious, is that I think small talk has changed. I think
Ah,
people when they ask other people like how you doing, they expect the actual answer. It's not like a nice thing to say anymore. It's an actual, you and I, we've always been like when we ask other people, we're like, please give me an actual answer. But for most of the world, it's actually like instead of a hi.
yeah.
I think that has changed. Like people
Okay.
really, I think the rushing has been replaced by caring. That's one thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing I hope is that people pay more attention. Um, as much as I know from the people from in my life, and I know that I'm surrounded by people who are already rather open about for example, me and my friends, we have a deal that we support local businesses that we like.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do, I either order food from one of them, or I go grab my coffee from them. I try to do that every day
Mm.
because I want them to be there when this is over. And even in situations when you don't have much money, this €1 or €2 actually
Mm.
means a lot to them.
Yeah.
They can keep their stuff going. And
Mm.
this means a lot. So we kind of adopted businesses in a way.
Yeah. Mm.
So what's the third thing? Um, I think our social circles are smaller
Yeah.
now.
Mm.
I think so, and I think they're and I think that's actually fine.
Mm.
Honestly, I think that's fine. Um, I think our understanding
Mm.
of how we work changes. I don't think we're going back to how it was before.
Matthias is asking on Instagram, is this new attitude for caring going to stay?
Well, Matthias, I'm gonna care for you for sure.
I'm gonna go back home. When I leave the kitchen, I'm going to definitely care for him. Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
but seriously, I mean, do you think that it's gonna be a new constant?
I hope so. I think
Yeah,
there's
okay.
every action has a reaction
He
to
says,
it.
"I love you, man." Hey,
Likewise.
Dulun is there. Hey, awesome, lovely. How are you?
Uh, cool. Our
Well,
friends are showing up.
she's a Grammy-winning composer, man.
Oh, we have a lot of musicians tuning in. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends too.
Awesome.
That's nice. I'm halfway expecting Eric to show up. So, um, but yeah, I think like every action has a reaction, and current action has been that we are separated from each other.
Hmm.
Um, and I think when this is done with, we will look out for each other more.
Hmm.
I think we value each other more.
Well,
Because
I
like
mean,
we were running around like crazy earlier, right? You remember how many flights you had?
yes.
Uh,
And
yeah,
then suddenly you're not flying anymore. And you're
it feels
like,
so
this
good.
is
I love it.
actually okay.
I
Absolutely.
really,
But
one thing I really love about this crisis is me not flying. Like
yeah,
I'm
well,
just like,
and the thing is,
um,
obviously, I
oh
mean,
Yarmar, just do
apparently,
this, just do. Oh, they just
eh,
launched an album today. Yarmar, Trad Attack
hey,
launched a new album today. You should go check it out. Yeah.
awesome, go, guys,
Yeah, they're
cool.
great. I really love their work. Like they're really great.
I think I'm just going to move to. I have to convince Matthias to move to Estonia since we can do home office everywhere, and we're already e-residents. So maybe you
Oh,
will
here we
guys
go.
just
Yeah,
yeah.
here we
See,
go.
well, but I mean,
I want to
I
ask you a
was.
question. Do you have a grand piano at home?
Of course, I do.
Can I listen to you hacking it later on?
Tonight,
Yeah,
I can hack the shit out of it for you. It's
please.
okay.
I would love that.
Whatever you want, but it's not in the kitchen, so just
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
fine.
want to.
It's
I
fine.
don't
It's
want to
fine.
move all of this there.
Yeah.
Um, but hey, I had so many amazing people on Entrepreneur's Kitchen, also from big corporations, like really, really brain people on top levels, thinking about, board members,
Hmm.
thinking about how this crisis is going to affect all of the, economy. And there seems to be a dilemma, Marco. On the one
Mm.
hand, we have these obviously fucked up systems, right? I mean, we built stuff that is not sustainable, that's not humane.
Hmm.
We've built it on, exploitation of people, exploitation of resources, exploitation of all sorts of things that we actually go home,
Cheap
and if
labor.
exactly, and if we can sleep well, then it's, then you have a lot of, a good stomach, so to speak.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, it looks like a butterfly effect because so many people are hanging on it. You know,
They are.
you have like 80,000 people working for the cars industry, and now they've been struggling with this, from combustion engine to electrical engine, etc. Now they're trying to get more efficient, more lean, but they're still overproducing because
Hmm.
the entire economy is based on this. So
Yeah.
so when I start thinking about this, my mind just goes like off the moon, because on the one hand, you don't want to sustain these systems because they're bad, not only for people, also for the planet. On the other hand, there are so many lives that depend on actually sustaining these
Hmm.
structures, because you don't want to suddenly make people um, without a work, and sit them on the streets, and you
Yeah.
can't say like I don't care.
Yeah.
So how are we going to bridge this? And if you answer this question, I'm going to suggest you for the Nobel Prize.
Ah, wow. Okay. I need to drink 1 second. Mm.
I
First
don't
of all, I,
know.
I truly believe that you have the power to suggest me for the Nobel Prize. So I'm gonna take a good time thinking about this for a second. um,
Exactly.
Let me see. I think some things have to fail.
Mm,
Is the honest answer. Especially things that have been built on exploitation.
mm,
And the sad part of it is that it's not just the companies that will suffer; it's the people who are working for these companies.
mm,
And I think these people will suffer more than the companies. Our job as society now is to make sure that they have a soft landing spot,
mm,
meaning that they have either we help them if we can. It's like my friends and I supporting the local businesses that we know and love, or
mm,
it's movements like, for example, the global hack, where you give people a way to build something meaningful and actually maybe become employers themselves.
mm,
um, I think it's all about giving people tools and access to make something out of this for themselves and for
mm.
others, because in essence I believe even the most grim, ugly, bad, evil board members on planet Earth really are not evil, bad, and so forth.
None of
They're
which
just
were, of course,
running.
on
Yeah,
Entrepreneur's Kitchen. We only had
exactly.
the angels. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even that. It's people are trying to save their businesses.
Yeah.
Even the big businesses, like, you have, you're legally obliged to do your very best to keep the thing going to your shareholders.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're not doing your job.
Mm. Do
So
you
so
believe in Do you believe in those statements like from the Business Roundtable, where they say shareholder versus stakeholder versus, I don't know whether you heard
I
about
don't.
that last year. This big organization of, top CEOs of the U.S.,
What do you do?
including BlackRock, etc. They had a letter coming out where they said, now we want to change our leadership and our, company values towards uh, less shareholder, more stakeholder, meaning also employees and environment, etc.
I think
Uh,
it's bullshit. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
well,
That's my initial
BlackRock was one
without
of those.
knowing. Yeah, well, without knowing more about it, my initial reaction is like, I don't see how without disrupting
Greenwashing.
their own,
Mm,
yeah, without disrupting their own fundamental business practices, they
mm,
could be able to do that.
mm.
But I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I would really like to be wrong on this one. Then I would recommend them for the Nobel Prize.
Actually, you
I
have
mean,
one.
BlackRock turning shit around, that would be great. I would love that.
Yeah, wasn't. Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be a
I
real.
would cheer them
That would
on.
be a real spin, man. Are
Yeah.
you afraid that everyone is going to go back defending the status quo after the crisis?
No.
No,
Like
you're not afraid. They will
no,
try, but you won't be afraid.
no. It's I think you know when you introduce the whole global workforce that hey you can work differently.
Mm.
It's you're gonna have very hard time convincing them that no they can't do it anymore. For
Yeah.
example, and this is the time when I've heard about so many beautiful things about some of those board members actually
Mm.
that we were talking about who have been way and beyond giving people help, resources, money. You know, uh, I
Mm.
was talking with another friend of mine, Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses, the other day.
He's a
On
friend
also,
of yours. Oh my god, awesome!
yeah,
I love. Yeah, you go.
and no, he's a fantastic guy. He was also on the Global Hack
Uh,
live stream, and just a quick interview with him and his wife Ace. They they are proactively going out and asking people, "Are you okay? How can I help you?"
awesome.
And this is
Mm.
like the most legendary Grammy Award-winning rock and roll Hall of Fame drummer,
Mm.
doing this. So and what Lady Gaga did,
Mm.
raising like 40 plus million for the efforts, just going and to this
Mm.
to the corporations, saying like put your money right here.
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
And these are the moments when people are actually using their status in a very good way.
Mm.
So when we talk about if things are going to be the same afterwards, no, I don't think so.
Mm.
I think we've learned that we can be a lot better.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, and people tell me that I could be a lot better in telling jokes. Do you have a joke for us?
Fuck no, I'm really bad at so. Like, this is like, let's skip that part. Like, can we cut this out? This is live. No, please.
Well, I think we were funny enough that there is no
Yeah.
joke needed. But I have to tell you this one for your granny
All
because
right,
I
shoot,
mean,
go ahead. Like
yeah, it's because
she
it's
finds
hilarious.
really weird shit
Yeah,
hilarious.
because
So yeah.
it's really fun. So Granny takes the bus every day, and every week she gives the bus driver a bag of peanuts. And the bus driver is grateful and says, "Oh, that's so lovely of you." And every week he takes it. After a couple of weeks, he says, like, "Granny, you're so lovely. You're giving me all your peanuts, but just why don't you have some?" She says,
I think I
"Well,
see where it's going.
well, because I have no more teeth. I'm just sucking the chocolate out of them."
I'm not gonna tell her that joke because she would find it inspiring. Oh,
Well, isn't this
oh,
hilarious? I think
this
this
is
is hilarious.
just say that this is bad, yo.
Okay. Well,
No,
then this is a good time to end the stream, probably,
no,
right?
no.
I was going to make a fruit yogurt. I didn't get
Oh,
to do
do it.
it, so
Yeah. I mean, no rush. You can go ahead. We can talk
no.
until you make.
So we kind of cut this around 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then we stay online for the after show party,
Wow.
which means that I'm going to be opening up the Zoom call
Oh,
for
that's cool.
all the crazy people out there. If you want to join in, this is your moment, guys. So,
All right.
Matthias, I have to ask you to please put the Zoom call link in the comments on Instagram live stream before we shut it down.
Okay.
So people know. Yeah, well done. So my engine room says okay. Awesome.
Can we hear you play piano there now in the after party?
Well, we'll see what we can do.
I know I'm really insistent. I just. Oh yeah, it's late. I'm sorry.
It's kind of late, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do.
We will do it.
His master's voice says it will do. Okay, cool, guys. Matthias, did you put it in the Instagram comments yet? Because I'm about to shut down the stream.
Keep it going. I'm looking.
Keep it going. Okay, so on Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, I want to thank you for tuning in yet at another episode. This was really amazing episode with Marko. Marko, you have to wait. We
talked about strippers with you. I love that.
We even had strippers, exactly. So thank you for joining in. Have a great weekend. And guys, keep yourselves healthy, keep yourselves safe, and tune in on Monday. It's going to be an amazing week. Bye-bye.